This is Spud here from HitStandNow.com, coming at you with another quick hit. Street Fighter Assassin's Fist has finally landed on YouTube. It's been rumoured and trailered now for quite a long time. It seems to be released on the Machinima, the same guys who did Mortal Kombat Legacy there last year and a few years before that with the previous season as well. So Street Fighter Assassin's Fist again seems to have been released all at one time, so you can watch through the whole lot of the webisodes all at once, each one about 10 to 15 minutes long. You know, I think there's 12 of them in total. It follows Ken and Ryu as they're training under Gouken. So it's all based back in the 1980s, you know. And it seems, for the most part, it comes across very simplistic. It's not playing any huge big cards. It's not playing the big tournaments and having M. Bison ripping shit up or any of the kind of stuff that you'd usually have seen previously. Instead, it's just following them as they're training. And this really, really works well. You really kind of get to know Ken and Ryu in ways that you didn't really get to know them before. Sure, Ken comes across as he always did, you know. He's kind of a bit brash, a bit arrogant, has fabulous hair. Ryu, on the other hand, Ryu's always kind of been the quiet guy in the Street Fighter series. Even though he's on the cover of fucking everything, he's always been really quiet, really kind of reserved. And you get to see inside Ryu a little bit and find out what he's all about. You get to see kind of his origin story, how he wound up under Gouken's care, you know, why Gouken took him under his wing to begin with, why Ken ended up at an American kid like Ken ended up at a dojo in Japan, you know, and what an absolute dickhead he was when he got there, and how through Gouken's training these boys became men and they grew up and became more disciplined. You know, it's quite cool. It sounds very cheesy, but the weird thing is, you take video games and you turn them into live action things, they always come over cheesy. This one doesn't. You know, it's simple. It's got a little story to tell you, and it plays it straight. It doesn't play it for laughs. You know what I mean? It doesn't come across. I don't know. It doesn't come across like video game movies do. You know, instead you can kind of tell that whoever made this was a huge fan of the series and understood where he was coming from. Like the tiny little bits and pieces that if you weren't a big fan of the series you might not notice. For example, they're hacking into they call it the Hado, which is the power that they draw from to give them, say, Hadokens and Shoryukens, that kind of stuff. The kind of stuff that we know Street Fighter from. You know, of course the Hado has a dark side, just like the Force does in Star Wars. So, at one stage, Ken finds a little booklet written by Goki, better known as Akuma, all about the dark side of the Hado. And he starts to hack into that, just because he thinks it will make him be able to throw better Hadoukens. He's getting kind of upstaged in training, you know. So, he has a look into it, has a flick through the book, and just before he goes to throw a Hadouken down, you see him do Akuma's wind pose for a second to draw that evil energy. A little bit like that. Really make it. Especially for Street Fighter fans. There's a fight between Gouken and Goki back when they were training, because a lot of it's done kind of flashbacks to their day as well to tell you their backstory. And just before Gouken rushes in for a punch, he does the kind of the pose that he does during his kind of dash move in Super Street Fighter 4, which again, if you weren't a big fan, you wouldn't notice, but if you were, it's fucking glorious. You know what I mean? It makes you think that the creator of this show really cared about it. You know, the Hurricane kicks look amazing in it. The Hadoukens, a little bit cheesy, not too bad though. They come across quite well, to be honest. The Shoryukens look a bit off though, considering how far off the ground these boys are being propelled with the punch. It looks a bit silly. But it's a great little show. It's really good. All the history behind it between Gouken and Goki That's played lovely. It shows how Goki becomes a Kuma, how he gives in to the Dark Hado, and it plays that for half of the episodes of the series. It's kind of split up between Ken and Ryu's situation and Goki and Goken's situation back in the past. And again, just for fans, then there's a lot of the old theme tunes kind of thrown in the background here and there. From Street Fighter 2, the Street Fighter creator Ono, he shows up, as a little cameo, the same way that Ed Boon did in Mortal Kombat Legacy. It's played brilliantly. You can relate to the characters. Now, I've always been a big Ken Masters fan. I've been playing Ken since Street Fighter 2. He was always my boy. I always thought he was cool. He liked fast cars and fast women. He had long hair. I thought he was a badass when I was growing up. And getting to see him come to life like this, amazing. Absolutely amazing. It feels like Ken Masters. You know what I mean? It feels just like him. It feels like you've taken him out of the video game and just thrown him into real life. When the boys fight, and mostly it's sparring between Ryu and Ken, but anytime they fight then, it's all kind of played out. I'm not sure whether it's intentionally, I guess it probably is, but it's kind of played out on a 2D plane. There's no big fucking dirty side steps and side sweeps and stuff. It's all just backing up and heading forward, and again, it plays out like the video game. It feels fantastic. If I had to compare it to Mortal Kombat Legacy, either Season 1 or Season 2 of Mortal Kombat Legacy, which I've talked about in quick hits before, and I'll link down below, I'd have to say that it kicks the living shit out of that show. This is much, much better. It feels much, much better. It feels more unique. It feels, what's the word I'm looking for? It feels true to its source material. It feels like it's made for Street Fighter fans by Street Fighter fans. Mortal Kombat Legacy kind of played, we'll do the whole real world card, and then halfway through scrapped it and said, we'll do the whole net around fucking outworld card, and it didn't really know what it was doing. It came back for Season 2, nobody played the same characters, it was a lot of shit in the end, but Street Fighter really, really works. Street Fighter Assassin's Fist is amazing. I will link the playlist down below. I'd highly recommend watching through it. It's, like I said, it's simplistic because it's all got to do with training. It's not big tournaments. You're not going to see M. Bison or Dan or Zangief or any of these lads. It's a lot more reserved than that. And because of that, it's got a lot more feeling to it. It's not just trying to throw in every character that appears in Super Street Fighter 2 or anything like it. You know what I mean? And it's really, really good stuff. It really is. You get to see the other side of these fighters. Like at one stage, they get Mega Man 2 on NES, and they're coming in and they're helping Goken out with shopping and all that kind of shit, and they get Mega Man 2 posted to them on NES, and they're like, fuck all this martial arts training, man, we're going home to play some fucking video games, and the two boys are just sitting there playing the game, and Goken's like, what the fuck happened there, boys? It shows the human side of them. Ryu doesn't just feel like this brick wall of martial arts anymore. Ken Masters is so Ken Masters, it's amazing. So, Street Fighter Assassin's Fist, if I was wearing a hat, I would tip it to you, sir. This is Spud from HitsThatNow.com, signing off. Good luck. Thanks for watching one of the HitsThatNow.com quick hits. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and share. You might enjoy some of the other video gaming goodness on this very channel. You can also get us at HitsThatNow.com, where we have written reviews, written blogs, and our infamous monthly podcast. Of course, we've also got at HitsThatNow on Twitter and HitsThatNow on Facebook, all of which will be linked down below. Thank you very much.